Hi, my name's Joel. This is Rebecca. Together we play as Rosebriar Creek. This is the second part of the second lesson, and we are going to do that from now on. That way, if you do play, you can skip right to the second part and pick up with what I call the more creative ideas in each lesson. We're going to start with our E minor pentatonic scale, which is also known as the G major pentatonic scale. Learning a scale is so useful because doing so, you are setting yourself up to be able to play many styles in many different ways. And all scales can be used in multiple fashions. Here is our scale. Just a reminder, I'm going to get just the tip of my pick out. I'm covering the rest of it with my finger and my thumb, and I'm going to use rest strokes, meaning I'm going to let the pick land on the string below. If you haven't been doing that, I can't stress it enough. Learn to make that technique part of your playing. Open E. The second note is our third fret, G. You might use your third finger there. Open A. Second finger now would be our B. Open D. Second finger gives me an E. Open G. Second finger gives me an A. Open B. Third finger gives me a D. Open E. Third finger gives me the high G. If I reverse, I take the third finger off. Now to reverse, make sure that you land fretted note third fret first. Now open it up. Second finger first. Open it up. Second finger first, and then you're open it up to get the D. Second finger. Open it up. Third finger. And open. Now that our fingers know what to do, let's go right into our rhythm. Count measures of 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, third finger. Open A. Second finger B. Open D. Second finger E. Open G. Second finger A. Open B. Third finger D. Open E. Third finger G. Reverse. Open E. Fretted 3. Open B. Second finger A. Open G. Second finger E. Open D. Second finger B. Open A. And third finger E. And open it E. Ready? Halves. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third. Open. Second. Open. Second. Open. Second. Open. Third. Open. Third. Open. Third. Open. Second. Open. Second. Open. Second. Open. Third. Open. Quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open. Third. Second. Open. 2. Open. 2. Open. 3. Open. 3. Open. 3. Open. 2. Open. 2. Open. 2. Open. 3. Open. Eighth notes we are going to play down up with a free stroke. Now 2 eighth notes equals 1/4, so we are going to have 2 sounds for every note. To count them, I think the word and in between the numbers like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. first lesson, we learned to alternate between quarters and A's. We're going to do that with our scale right now. So every other note is going to be a quarter, and every other note is going to be a pair of eighths. So I get this sound. 1, 2, and 4. Let's try it together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now that may sound simple, but if you're not using the rest stroke on the quarter note, then you want to go slower. In fact, let's try that. And I'm going to say rest and free. Okay? Slower, a lot slower. Ready, 2, 3, and 4. And rest, free, 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 rest, free. Now, one way you can improvise with that particular scale is to use the shape idea that we talked about last time. The two-finger shape that is most common to guitar players is used on the E minor chord. What I do is I put my first finger on the second fret. Right underneath it, I put my second finger, middle finger in the second fret as well, so they're both in the same fret. Rest all the way down, make sure you got a good sound. Now, I can take this particular shape and move it in two directions. I can stay in the same fret and go up or down. If I go up, I get a very dissonant sound that I'm probably not going to use. But it doesn't mean that I might not be able to use it in the future. Dissonance and consonance are two sides to the same coin of a spectrum, and there is a usage for almost any sound in music. If I go in the other direction and drop it down, I get my A9 chord. In the last lesson, I suggested that we play those two sounds until we're good at them. So here's my E minor, and here's my A9, 2, 3, 4. Here's the holes. 4. I'd try half notes, I'd get this. I fill up the measure with the half notes. Quarter notes, eighth notes. Now I can use that scale against this. You might tape yourself on an iPhone playing this. Any rhythm counts. I could use halves. I could switch back and forth. Now I'm going to use my scale. The other direction I can take this is up and down the neck horizontally. The same shape. Now the E minor shape, okay, I can find places if I go up the neck, and you should experiment on your own. But the easiest place to find spaces or places that sound good is on the D and the G string, and the reason for that is that you're smack in the middle of the 6 strings. That's such a beautiful chord. All right, hold up and let's do it together, please. All right, here we go. Here is on the first fret, it sounds like this. If I go up to the 3rd fret and keep them both in the same fret, I would describe that as dissonant. The the 4th fret, I get this. That's a little bit more consonant. Let's try the 5th fret. That's beautiful. Definitely consonant. The 6th fret. Again, another consonant. So I can continue up the neck and find places that I think sound nice. Those 2 places do sound very pretty together, don't they? Let's try that so that everybody can hear that. Here I am on the 6th fret. And then I'm going to go down to the 5th. 2, 3, 4. Notice how I make sure I have the feeling of each measure before I try to add any rhythm to the sound. Half notes. With half notes, I tend to play the 2nd half note a little softer, so that I'm accenting the 1st one. The same thing's going to happen with quarter. The 1st one gets a little louder. And that way my listener can tell exactly where the measure is. They can tell where the sets of 4 are, where they begin and end. 8th note. Now I'm going to introduce a new shape today. With this shape, I've got the same 2 fingers happening. I'm going to use my 3rd finger on the A string. That's the 5th string from the bottom up, or the 2nd fattest from the top down. And I'm going to put my 3rd finger there. My middle finger is going to be in the fret below, or to the left of you, and it's going to be placed on a string lower, or the D string. Now that's a gorgeous sounding chord, known as a G major 7. The names don't matter so much, though, when I'm trying to experiment. If I take this and move it vertically up, same frets, 3rd fret E string, 2nd fret A string, I get this sound. This is known as a G6. If you want to get rid of the sound that is slightly dissonant, what I would do is learn how to use chords and combine that with the idea of the rest stroke. Alone, the lowest note would be with a rest stroke this. If I did that with the first 2 strings, I'd get this. There's 2 sounds. Careful. I'm on the G and the B, that's right. Now, if I do 3, I have a complete chord. That is a G chord right there. If I do 4, I get that sound because this is another G. It's a reinforced G. This is still a G chord. If I go all the way to the 2nd string or the B string, I get a full-on G chord. That's extremely useful. So if I avoid the highest note, I get an extremely useful sound off the instrument. Now, conversely, if I drop down to the C7, you might notice that the lowest note, the open note, is a little out. It actually does fit, but it can only be used in terms of a bass note. So to get the best sound, what I'm going to do is not play the lowest string, but go from the ring finger's note down. In fact, wherever the ring finger is usually the root of the sound. So my C note is here, and that's why I call this a C7. When I go up, my G note is here, and this is why I call it a G. Here's Here's our C. Here's our G. Now with just those two sounds I can make a song. Let's start on the G, and we're going to use this G and a C, one measure each. 1, 2, 3, 4. C. Get good at the change before you ever try to sing. Now when you sing, I recommend you sing on top of a whole note, and only when you can sing with a whole note sound, go on to the other rhythms. This one goes, I look out my window, watching as she bears his I say to myself, I'm such a lucky guy. Half notes, I have a girl like her is a dream come true. And for the girls in the world, she loves me true. I might go to quarter. It was just my imagination running away with me. It was just my imagination running away with me. Another verse comes, I might slow it down. Soon we'll be married and raise a family, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Now, I can experiment going down vertically with this idea. Here's my G6. I'm just hitting the top string too. The top string, so it makes it a G6. Here's my C7, major 7. If I drop it another set of strings, I get something in the F family. Notice how I'm playing from the 4th string down. Now that's a jazzy chord right there. That's an F major 7 flat 5. It's a little dissonant, but I tell you what, there are uses for it. Let's drop it one more place, and I get this. Kind of not sure what to do with that one, right? I'm going to think vertically now. If I take that shape on the B and the G string, and I go up 1 fret, I get this sound. Now check this out. I'm going to take it from here, down 1 fret, down 1 fret, then I'm going to go vertically up. Try that again. That's a blues sound, isn't it? You might notice now we're in the very 1st fret. Go ahead and play it for us. Good, stop there. I'm in the 1st fret, and because I'm in the 1st fret, you might think the best solution would be to put my 1st finger in the 1st fret and my 2nd finger in the 2nd fret. Now when I play from where my 2nd finger is, that's the root now. Oh, that sounds nice. And here I have the added benefit is that my 1st and 2nd finger are stronger. Drop it down vertically. Walk back up 1 fret. No, up the other way. That's it, horizontally up. Now when I do that sound, it'll be easier to play probably. So here's my first 1, 2, 3, 4. And then go up vertically. Go back up. 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. Rebecca and I can fill it out rhythmically. And you're on your way to playing the blues. Now, when then I'm in this place here. I'm in the middle 2 strings. Remember I said it's the middle 2 strings are covered. I have like an in-between place. So I have a little more freedom to experiment with the horizontal motion on the guitar. There's my, I know that sounds good. If I go up 1, what does it sound like here? Dissonant, isn't it? Let's go up another. Even more dissonant. Let's go up another. Not so bad, that one there. Let's keep going up. Very dissonant. That one is nice. Now, if I remember that place right there sounds really nice, and again, I am playing from the middle finger down. I sometimes get sloppy and hit more of them. It just happens to be with this one, I can hit them all. So this is on the 6th fret. My middle finger is on the 7th fret, and that might be the best way to remember because there's a dot right above it. So I'm on 7th fret. My guitar has 3 dots before I get there. Let's go down to our 5th dot, or the 5th fret dot, and then go all the way to the bottom. Now I decided that this one and this one sound good to my ear. Yeah, those are the 2 we picked. Now you might decide you're going to use that other one in between, and that would be fair game. But I'm going to use just these 2 because I want to get good at it. All the way to the bottom, honey. There you go. Now move it up. Up all the way. There it is. That's the sound I've decided. You might decide what you just did was where you want to make your song. But I'm going to do it right here to here. Good. Now let's put a measure. Let's give it rhythm. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. That's it until you get it. Bring it up. 4, 2, 3. Once you've got it, you're going to start experimenting with your rhythm. Loud and soft with a half note if you're doing it. Either way, accent the number 1. I'm singing. Now you wouldn't be singing, so you might be able to move. But to make it clear for the video, let's play the whole notes together. 2, 3, 4. Look out my window, watching as she passes by. 4. I say to myself, I'm such a lucky guy. 2. I should hold notes to have a girl like her. But if you're learning a song, trust me, play it whole note all the way through until you can sing with the chords that you're working on. The possibilities are pretty endless, you know, especially if you don't hit all the strings. But I'm going to do one more idea. We talked about the 2-finger one where they're both in the same fret, and we talked about the 2-finger one where one finger is below and 1 fret lower than the other. Now, let's go back to that one we used on the blues. That means the first finger is going to be on the 3rd string, G string. There it is, G string, first finger. That's right, take your time, first fret, there it is. And to make the shape, I put the middle finger, and no, above it, there you go. That's our shape. That's the shape this week. Now let's say I wanted to go to the shape I learned last week. If I put my ring finger down right below it, look, there it is. Oh, and there's that chord. Right, the first chord for Behind Blue Eyes by The Who. Now, watch, if I go from this shape to this shape, I get a really cool sound. I tell you what, let's try that idea going up. Not gonna work there. How about here? Not too bad. How about up here? Not too bad at all. I'll tell you what, the dots will help you with this. I'm going to go all the way up to the 7th dot. I know that sounds good to my ears. And I'm going to fluctuate here to the combination of this shape to this shape. Well, that could be a song right there. Let's go down to the next dot. Tell us what you're doing with your first finger, because that's exactly what you want to do.
Leaving it down.
Leave the first finger down. Yeah, because look, if I pick it up, the sound doesn't change, right? So all I have to do to make that change is pick up that third finger. Now, this idea can be used all over the neck. And you might experiment with it, even in different places. If I'm on the E, there's the regular E minor. If I go up to the 5th fret with my middle finger and make the other shape, I get this sound. Now, but I'm switching yeah, exactly, I'm changing the shape. So I might say, that two sounds alone might be my basis for my song. I'm going to go up again. Let's see what happens. Up. Not too bad. Yes, I'm using the rule of going for the dot. So let's see if I use the other shape. I kind of like that shape. Now, with that idea, let's see if I go all the way up. I'm going to go to. And this is where I'm saying you can use this idea and experiment and come up with your own sounds on the guitar with just 2 fingers. These 2 finger shapes are awesome. I'm going to make one up and then let's see if you can make one up. Okay? Right? I'm going to make one up. Well, the idea is to be creative. Remember, you want to find your own voice. And I'm going to concentrate a little bit on these 2 finger ideas and the second part. I think I'm going to introduce the 1 finger idea for those who have never played before next time we do these. I hope this was helpful. I hope you find it useful. And we thank you for watching.